First of all, you don't need any supplements to heal your gut, okay? I promise you. We're going to go through this step-by-step process, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Think of it as if it's a cloaking device in your gut that pathogenic bacteria and parasites will hide in. And one supplement that can actually be more detrimental than anything, it will do more damage than good, are Hello, my beautiful Trinity beings, and welcome back. If you are new, my name is Victoria. I'm a certified holistic women's health and fitness coach, prenatal, postnatal specialist, trauma-informed somatics practitioner, naturopathic practitioner, and herbalist. So basically, I am obsessed with helping women, moms, and soon-to-be moms achieve holistic health so they can thrive in their bodies and thrive in motherhood and live their mommy dream life. You feel me? Okay. All right. So if you're wondering if you're in the right place, I can 1,000% guarantee you're absolutely in the right place. Okay. So let's get started. Today we are talking about one of my favorite topics in the world, which is gut health. God, I love gut health. Like, the gut is just the center of everything. Your gut is actually like your second brain, and it is just connected to absolutely everything, and everything starts in the gut. So if you're having hormonal imbalances, gut health. If you're dealing with anxiety and depression, gut health. Obviously, if you're dealing with digestive issues, gut health. So the gut is absolutely everything. And it's one of my favorite things to help people with, especially women, because it can be the thing that transforms your life. So we're going to be getting into how to actually heal your gut, because it is a trendy topic right now. And with trendy topics comes good and bad. Yes, it's great. People want to learn more about gut health, but with a trendy topic comes those nasty little influencers who come around spreading misinformation so they can cash in on the trendy topic. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about how to actually heal your gut. I'm going to be giving you all of the steps, step by step, on how to actually do it. These are the step-by-step processes and protocols that I give my clients to give them more energy, actually heal their gut, put it into bloating once and for all, achieve sustainable weight loss, heal their hormones, and just start thriving. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys all the tea, especially since there's so much misinformation out there. I'm just going to give it all to you. Okay. So let's get started. But of course, first is the tea of the day. And today's tea of the day is American ginseng, which is great for energy and hormonal health for women, as well as oat straw, which probably sounds familiar because I talk about it a lot. And we're actually going to be talking about that in today's topic. It's a great nervine, great for the nervous system, great for anxiety and depression, nourishing the nervous system. And also a really cool herb, wild lettuce. So wild lettuce is probably a herb that you might not have heard of, but it is amazing for the nervous system as well. It's a nervine. This is great because it interacts with dopamine, and it helps people who are dealing with depression and anxiety in a way that demotivates them. So if you find yourself like laying on the couch and just completely demotivated to do the things you want to do, wild lettuce is a great nervine to start introducing, because it is just pure magic. Okay. So that's today's tea of the day. I actually don't think it's too hot to drink. Oh yes, it's at perfect temperature. Yeah, I love it like that. Okay. All right. So now on to today's topic of the day, which is how to actually heal your gut. Okay, for real this time. Okay, no crazy supplements, no nonsense, no fluff, no BS. Let's get into it. Okay, but first I have to tell you what not to do. Okay, so you got to know the nonsense. You got to be able to spot the bull and know what not to do in order for us to start talking about the step-by-step process. So you have clarity on what to do. Okay, so first thing to not to do to heal your gut is one of my favorite things to talk about, intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is not going to heal your gut. It's definitely not going to heal your hormones. And I have a whole episode here talking about why women should not do intermittent fasting and how it can actually be extremely detrimental to hormonal health. So if you want to know all about that, you can click this video here and check out why you should never do intermittent fasting and why it does a lot more damage than good, especially for us women. So that's the first thing you want to avoid if you're trying to heal your gut. Don't listen to people telling you to do intermittent fasting to heal your gut. That won't do it, okay? So if you want to know all the reasons why, check out my intermittent fasting video. You'll get all the tea on that, but we're not going to dive into the details of that. If you want to know, check out that episode. Okay, next thing that you don't want to do to heal your gut is drink a ton of water. Like, I hear this a lot from influencers who don't know what they're talking about. They'll just say, oh, just drink more water, drink more water, drink water, drink more water. And it's like, yes, water is amazing, yes, but you can actually do a lot of damage if you drink too much water. Like, you don't need to drink a gallon of water a day. That is actually going to dehydrate your cells. And if someone's telling you to drink more water and they're not mentioning that you should be mineralizing your water, just stop listening to them. Okay, just stop. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Don't do it. Okay, you should always be making sure you're getting your minerals in when you are drinking your water. So mineralizing your water looks like adding real salt to it, adding electrolyte powders that aren't filled with sugar and fillers and dye. So no Gatorade, no liquid IV, no sugar crap, like real electrolyte powders. This can also look like adding magnesium drops into your water, things like that. Mineralizing the water is really important, okay? So don't just drink a ton of water and completely dehydrate your cells and cause a bunch of nonsense, okay? Make sure that you're drinking a good amount of water, but making sure your water is properly mineralized, okay? Next is taking all these freaking supplements. Like, the influencers love to tell you to buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, buy all these supplements. Okay, I talked about that in an intermittent fasting video as well. But one supplement that you don't want to take that a lot of influencers will try to get you to buy so they can make a buck off of you is digestive enzymes, okay? First of all, you don't need any supplements to heal your gut, okay? When it comes to gut health alone, you don't need to buy supplements. You don't need to buy a bunch of supplements. I promise you. We're going to go through this step-by-step process, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, okay? So stop listening to these people who tell you to buy this like laundry list of crap with the links in their bio that, you know, they make money off of. So one of the really, so obviously, like, I'm not against supplementation, though most supplements out there are really poor quality, ineffective. I'm very, very, very picky about my supplements, especially the ones that I recommend to my clients. And some things should be and need to be supplemented. But when it comes to gut health, you don't need any supplements. And one supplement that can actually be more detrimental than anything, it will do more damage than good, are digestive enzymes. So I've seen influencers tell you to buy these digestive enzymes, and it's a bad idea, okay? So basically, when you start taking these digestive enzymes, you tell your body that it doesn't need to make digestive enzymes anymore, okay? Your pancreas makes all your digestive enzymes. And when you take these supplements, you're telling the body that it doesn't need to produce them anymore. So now we're developing a long-term problem down the line. You see where this is leading? It's going to lead to an issue down the line, okay? So don't take and buy digestive enzymes. If you want to help your body digest food, first of all, we're going to talk about, obviously, how to heal your gut. But a simple, really cheap thing you can do instead of taking digestive enzymes is taking apple cider vinegar, okay? Having a little bit of apple cider vinegar with some water before or after you eat will do so much more for you than a digestive enzyme, and it won't have this detrimental effect down the line either, okay? And it's cheap, okay? Make sure you're buying ones that are like naturally fermented. Those are going to be the most effective. And yeah, you don't have to buy a bunch of crap. Okay, so don't buy all this stuff. Feel like you don't need to do it. There's some natural herbs that are much more cost effective that we're going to be talking about that will do a lot more for you and will cost a lot less. Okay. And then last but not least, what not to do is starve yourself. This kind of ties in, it goes back to intermittent fasting. Starving yourself is not going to heal your gut. It's definitely not going to heal your hormones. It's going to damage your hormonal balance. And all in all, it's just a bad idea. Mentally, physically, hormonally, bad idea. Okay. So that's what not to do. Now that we got that out the way, let's actually dive into gut health. How do you actually heal your gut? All right. Well, it's a step-by-step process, okay? This goes in phases. You have to heal your gut in phases. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to be something like you take a magic pill and boom, your gut's healed. It doesn't work like that. When we're dealing with inflammation and a destroyed gut lining, and we're dealing with dysbiosis, like this needs to be taken care of step by step. Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through the step-by-step process that all my clients go through, and it's one of my favorite things in the world to talk about. So let's just start. All right, so the first stage or the first phase of gut health, of a complete gut restore, is the removal phase. So the removal phase looks like removing things that cause inflammation in the gut, things that destroy the gut lining, and things that create mucus in the gut. Okay, so let's break down what each of these things are, right? So first we have to get rid of inflammation, right? Remove the inflammation from the body and from the gut. 2, we need to rebuild the gut lining, right? So this barrier, this lining of your gut. So when you have that leaky gut syndrome, it has all these holes in it. We got to rebuild that, right? And then we have to get rid of this dysbiosis. So what is dysbiosis? That is when there is too much pathogenic bacteria and not enough good bacteria. So it has to be a perfect balance of good and pathogenic bacteria in the gut. And when you have a dysbiosis, there's way more pathogenic bacteria, there's parasites, and there's not enough beneficial bacteria. Okay? So these are the things we need to get rid of, and it needs to be done in phases, step by step. So phase 1 is the removal phase. The removal phase is removing things that cause inflammation in the gut, that destroy the gut lining, and that also feed mucus to the gut. So things that create more of this dysbiosis. And this is really important because of something called biofilm that's in our gut. So biofilm is, think of it as if it's a cloaking device in your gut that pathogenic bacteria and parasites will hide in. So it basically camouflages and hides the pathogenic bacteria and these parasites, and your immune system can't find it. So your immune system can be tracking it down, going crazy to find it, but it can't fight it because it doesn't see it. It can't find it. It's cloaking itself. It's hiding. So we need to start getting rid of that biofilm, and then we can start getting rid of those pathogenic bacteria and increasing the beneficial bacteria, okay? So this is why the removal phase is crucial, because we can't keep feeding the gut things that's going to inflame it, continue to destroy that barrier, and continue to feed mucus to this biofilm, which is only going to increase that dysbiosis, right? It's only going to create more pathogenic bacteria, okay? So removal phase looks like removing foods that are super inflammatory to the gut. There's a couple foods that I have people avoid during this phase, and this is just a phase. You can reintroduce these foods later. We're going to talk about the one food that should be limited no matter what, but this isn't a permanent thing. This isn't a diet. This is a phase that you need to go through in order to heal your gut. So don't think of it as this indefinite forever thing where you can never eat these foods again. No, I'm all about balance. You will be able to eat these foods again, but while we're healing the gut, and when you're serious about healing your gut, you got to take it seriously, and we have to go through this phase, okay? So There are a couple things I have people avoid, but the number one and number two thing that you absolutely must avoid when we are in this removal phase is gluten and pasteurized dairy. These are the two foods that create the most mucus in the gut and cause the most inflammation in the gut, especially gluten. So if you want, you can get a test, a salivary test, to see if you have an intolerance to gluten, which means that you should really avoid gluten. But even if you aren't intolerant to gluten or you don't have a gluten allergy, you still need to go through this phase of avoiding gluten, because no matter what, whether you're intolerant to it or not, it's going to destroy your gut lining and it's going to cause inflammation in the gut. I mean, that's just what it does, unfortunately. Okay. Now, if you go overseas, it's a different story. But right here in America, we just don't have a good option. So this means like avoiding breads, pastas, things that are breaded. Even if you want to get real serious about it, sauces that have gluten in it. It just has to be done for a while, because gluten completely destroys the glycocalyx. So this is part of your gut lining. Like it just obliterates it. So gluten and pasteurized dairy as well creates a lot of mucus in the gut. So your cheeses, your creams, your milks, if it's pasteurized, it's going to have a super inflammatory response. We won't talk about raw milk because I know it's a spicy topic, but if you are open to raw milk that is not pasteurized, and I do allow that, while you're in the removal phase, I honestly recommend just avoiding gluten. I honestly recommend just avoiding dairy altogether. But if it's pasteurized dairy, which almost all dairy is, I mean, unless you're going to a raw dairy dealer, everything in the store is going to be pasteurized. So those are the main two things you want to avoid. Other things you want to avoid, obviously, processed foods, processed sugars. These are the types of foods you want to avoid as well. You want to be really careful about the prepackaged things you're buying. You want to make sure that the ingredients that you're buying are not inflammatory. If you're not sure how to read your labels, I do have a free guide on how to read labels and find the sneaky ingredients and the way that the food industry hides and sneaks certain things into our foods, so that they can try to play you and try to trick you into buying them. So you can download that completely for free. Link will be in the bio. If you don't know how to read your labels, this would be a great resource for you to be a label detective, and the food industry will not be able to play games with you. All right. You'll be a force to be reckoned with. All right. So feel free to download that below. But yes, being able to read labels is really important, especially during this phase, because you want to avoid prepackaged foods as much as possible. But obviously that's not always 100% possible. So knowing how to read your labels is really important. And yes, avoiding these and avoiding processed sugars and processed foods, super, super important during this phase. You want to be careful as far as the protein that you get in. I suggest switching out red meat for fish and some chicken for a while. If you do love red meat, I always recommend bison as a substitute for red meat. It's super high in omega-3s. It is the bomb.com. Like, love bison. Okay. So many health benefits, and it's not going to have that inflammatory response like some red meats do. Obviously, if you're getting your red meat from a farm that is grass finished, clean, trustworthy, then that's a different story. But if you don't have access to that, then you might want to avoid red meat while you're in this phase as well. So in this removal phase, we're removing all of these foods that cause inflammation to the gut, and we're also removing pathogenic bacteria with herbs as well. So phase 2 is the repair phase. This is when we are repairing and rebuilding the gut, especially the gut lining, that glycocalyx that I talked about. This is the mucilaginous part of the gut. This is going to be the thing that creates that barrier. So I do this with certain foods and certain herbs that create that mucilaginous effect in the gut that coats the gut lining and repairs that lining. And a great example of a herb that does that is aloe vera. Aloe vera is really great for repairing that gut lining. Also, bone broth, which is going to be really high in collagen. Bone broth is one of the most nutrient dense foods you will ever ingest. So super, super, super recommend making sure you get your bone broth in this phase. I have my clients get bone broth in. Like some of them will just drink it straight up. Others, others will use it in recipes for like soups and stews that I give them. Like it is a complete necessity. These are the types of foods that's going to repair the gut lining. So once we rebuild that gut lining that is so crucial to healing the gut that a lot of people skip, then we can start the reinoculation phase. And if you notice, I haven't mentioned probiotics yet. That's because you need to get rid of inflammation and rebuild that gut lining before you even think about taking or touching a probiotic, okay? And this is the phase where we can do this now. Now the body is prepped and ready to take in the prebiotics and the probiotics that it needs to get rid of this dysbiosis. So that's exactly what the reinoculation phase is all about. It's about introducing now more of those beneficial bacterias so that we can get rid of this dysbiosis and have more beneficial bacterias and less pathogenic bacterias and bring everything back into balance. So we do this with probiotics and prebiotics. But here's the kicker. You don't need a probiotic supplement. In fact, a probiotic supplement can be not so effective. A lot of them are very ineffective because when you have these multi-strain probiotics and these companies claim to have all of these strains in live cultures, what happens is there's an alpha strain. These strains compete with each other. They're alive. They're living organisms. So just like there's an alpha dog, there's alpha strains. And these alpha strains will eat and consume the rest of the strains. And by the time you get your probiotic off the shelf, you're only left with like 1 or 2 strains. It's not going to be effective. It's not going to be as effective as it would be if you ate your probiotics, if you consumed them through foods, and if you made them yourself. So while there's nothing wrong with supplementing probiotics and taking a probiotic as, an additional supplement, your main source of probiotics should always be from foods. Always be from foods. So this is when we start consuming fermented foods. Those are going to be your probiotics. And then you're going to need your prebiotics. So prebiotics are like the foods that your probiotics need to do their job. Because remember, they're alive. So they need to be fed. Okay. So think of probiotics as the friends in your gut and think of prebiotics as the foods your friends need to do their job properly. Okay. So probiotics looks like kimchi, miso, sauerkraut. And when it comes to probiotics, the best way to get them in is to make them yourself. When you make these fermented foods yourself, you're getting your own microflora from your skin into the probiotics. And this is going to add to the probiotic. This is going to be your own personalized probiotic that is made perfectly for you and your unique microbiome. So making your own probiotics is like, if you're serious about healing your gut, this is what you need to do. So you can make your own kombucha, and that's great because now you have control over the sugar content and all that stuff. You can make your own kimchi. It's not as hard as it looks. You can make your own sauerkraut, your own fermented like pickles and things like that. It's not that hard, and it's so beneficial, okay? So if you're serious about healing your gut, that's what you need to do. And prebiotics are things like asparagus, your legumes, your beans. And now that you rebuilt your gut barrier, now you can eat these foods more easily without bloating, and you can digest them better and get the benefits of them, right? Cacao is another great source of a prebiotic. I mean, there's tons. Onions, ginger, garlic, these are all great prebiotics. There's also some herbs that I always recommend my clients that have not only prebiotics and probiotics, but also are great for getting rid of that pathogenic bacteria as well and rebuilding the gut lining. So herbs are super powerful, guys. So that is the reinoculation phase. Now we are approaching our final phase of gut health, which is restore. This is just as important as everything we just did. Every single phase is crucial. That's why it's there. There's nothing here that you can skip. It all got to get done if you want to heal your gut. But restore is where lifestyle really comes into play now. Now we are nourishing the nervous system and really taking care of us as a whole. This is the real holistic piece here. If your nervous system is out of whack, your digestive system gets really unhappy here. It gets really unhappy. So it's kind of like this cycle that it creates. So if your nervous system is out of whack, your digestive health gets put on the back burner. Like I mentioned in my previous episode, when your body feels like it is not safe, it starts down-regulating functions in the body. And digestive health is definitely something your body is going to down-regulate. So if you are not taking care of your stress levels, you're not taking care of your nervous system, then all of this is for nothing, because your body isn't going to prioritize digestive health if you don't take care of your nervous system. So you have to make sure stress management and nervous system regulation is a priority. If you don't prioritize this, then you're missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. So we need to make sure that our stress levels are managed. That doesn't mean we avoid stress. That doesn't mean that we stop being stressed. That means we take care of our nervous system and learn to regulate it when we do encounter stress. So I do this, and I tell my clients to do this with lifestyle things like breath work, EFT, sound therapy. This is why I got trained and certified in all of these things, because they're so important for your health. If you don't do this piece, like I said, it's all for nothing. So breath work is one of the most powerful things you can do for your nervous system. It is the easiest and most powerful wellness tool that you have at your fingertips to regulate your nervous system. And it's free. It's free. Your breath is free. It's yours. God breathed it into you. He gave it to you. You were born, like you were created with the breath of God. Your breath is absolutely free, no charge. And it is your most powerful wellness tool. Your breath is the only thing that can stop the production of stress hormones and regulate the nervous system and turn on the parasympathetic nervous system instantly, okay? Your breath is the only thing that can do it that quickly. So breath work, that's why I'm obsessed with it. That's why I love it. That's why I always prioritize it. And that's why I make sure my clients have access to breathwork resources when they work with me, because they need it. You absolutely need it. And then on top of that, we got some great herbs that will also help support and nourish the nervous system. So, like I mentioned in my tea of the day, we had 2 nervines. That's going to support your nervous system, right? And one of my herbs that I used in my tea of the day was oat straw. So oat straw is not only an amazing nervine that will nourish the nervous system and will be great for regulating the nervous system if you're dealing with stress and anxiety and depression, but it is also a carminative. So a carminative is something that is also going to support digestion by making sure that there's peristaltic movement in the gut. So peristaltic movement is when the gut is able to use the muscles to squeeze the food out of your digestive system. This is how the gut moves food out of your digestive tract. When you have inflammation in the gut and you have dysbiosis, your gut isn't able to utilize these muscles. So it's just like pulsing. So imagine your food sitting in your intestines and it's not moving. See how this little pulse isn't going to do anything. It needs to squeeze it through. So it's got to go squish, squish, squish. And that's going to push it out. That's how you're going to have your grand poops. So carminatives are also going to create and increase this peristaltic movement, which is going to be so important for digestive health. And not only that, it's going to support your nervous system. And this is why I love herbs and became an herbalist, because they can do things pharmaceuticals can never do. Never. Like pharmaceuticals can't touch herbs. And not for nothing, but every pharmaceutical that was ever made was derived from a herb. it's like taking from the original and turning it into some Frankenstein. I mean, and creating all these side effects. We won't get into all of that, but these are incredibly powerful and do multiple things for you. And there's rarely any side effects unless you're already on a medication or you have some contraindications that would cause side effects. You know, obviously not every herb is for everybody, and you have to be careful with herbs because they are very powerful. You have to know what you're doing. So yes, you have to be careful. You have to be careful when you're pregnant, of course, but all in all, herbs are amazing, and that's why I love them. So making sure that your stress and anxiety levels are managed properly, and making sure that your nervous system is regulated on a regular basis, and making sure your lifestyle is in check and in order is super important. Like, this is a lifestyle change. This isn't just some diet or something that you're going to do. Like, you have to commit to changing your lifestyle. That's what sustainable weight loss and nutrition and holistic health is all about. It's about making the commitment to change your lifestyle and the things that you do and the things that you shouldn't be doing anymore. We should be reducing the activities that cause the body to go into fight or flight. Things like doom scrolling, watching things that get you worked up, like watching the news all the time, or watching, you know, things that are like gruesome and triggering. So just changing your lifestyle, you know what I mean? Really, really important for this restore phase. And it's bringing everything all together. And once we heal the gut and we get rid of this inflammation, then we can start supporting the liver. Because if you're dealing with hormonal issues and hormonal imbalances, you need to support the liver. But here's the thing with supporting the liver. You need to make sure that the inflammation is gone. We need to make sure that we get rid of this inflammation and that we heal and nourish the body before we start introducing all of these bitters. Because if you know anything about liver health, you'll know that bitters are great for your liver. But the problem is when you already have an inflamed liver, it's like having a wounded horse. When you start introducing all of these bitters, start putting more strain on the liver, and it will actually do more damage than good, and you'll actually start feeling sick. So we need to get rid of this inflammation and heal the digestive tract, and then we can start supporting the liver. And this is what's going to lead to total hormonal restoration. Like, this is what's going to really heal your hormones and bring your hormones back into balance. And it's going to skyrocket your energy levels. It's going to clear your skin. It's going to make you feel amazing. You're going to be able to actually lose weight and keep it off. So it's going to give you a sustainable weight loss. It's going to improve your cycle and get rid of PMS and all those horrible symptoms that you feel. Like, this is life changing. So healing your gut is really, I mean, we all know by now, like, it's the move to make, okay? And this is how you actually do it, okay? This is how you actually heal the gut. No bullcrap, no fluff, no laundry list of supplements, just true holistic health, just true holistic nutrition. And it works. It works. I've seen it work. I've seen it work on many a client, many a women, and it's improved their life, and it's improved lives, and it's changed lives. So I'm happy to share it with you all. If you're ready to finally heal your gut for real this time and start this journey, I do have something called the 7-Day Gut Reset, which really jumpstarts this process. It is a great resource to jumpstart this process and to really give you a head start and a jumpstart on your health goals, on your weight loss goals, and it really dives into the removal phase. So it has recipes, it has the step-by-step guide on how to reset the gut, and it also has accountability as well, which we all know could be a huge missing piece of the puzzle when people are trying to improve their health and lose weight. It's really affordable. It's a great way to start this journey, and it even has the next steps on how to go into the next phase as well once you're done with the 7 days. So if you're interested in starting this journey right now, click the link in the bio. Like I said, it's super affordable, and it's a great resource to jumpstart this process and start healing your gut especially if you need that practical piece, because even though we went over the step-by-step process, a lot of times people are like, well, I don't know what to eat, or like, well, how do I actually get started? This is a great way to actually get started and have some follow through. Okay, and hold yourself accountable as well. So I'll leave that below if you're interested. But either way, I really hope that this has been super helpful to you guys out there, because like I said, there's so much misinformation out there, so much clickbait, so much nonsense. And I just wanted to give you guys the real deal on how to actually heal your gut. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel. If you're listening on the Bountifully Balanced podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.